I first met Jeannie Pattison well over a decade ago. I remember her talking with her on the phone, and she would always have some critter at her ankle. She was rescuing and rehabilitating animals in her barn and sometimes even her kitchen. It was very clear she needed to expand her capabilities. She needed more of every kind of resource. She needed more volunteers, more food, more supplies, more medicine, more space. But Jeannie needed to get the word out. She needed to tell the story. So we set out, she did, and her staff, and I would say committed volunteers set out to create a wild night out. And who doesn't love a good wild night out? Food, friends, and those passionate stories up there on the screen with rescuing, rehabilitating, and most importantly, releasing back into the wild.
We're more surgical intervention for Miss Jeannie, but I will tell you just in personal experience, the hardest thing about wildlife is going to be nutrition and husbandry. When you take something like a scavenger, for example, they scavenge for what they need, not necessarily what they want. So they mainly search for food for the needs of what they need to sustain. It's very difficult because there's always going to be some type of nutritional deficiency that they have. Most of the injuries that you see are because of human intervention. Squirrels get buckshots. You see deer with buckshots. You see deer that get hit by cars. Squirrels caught in nets. A beaver makes a dam. You don't really actually think about how important that is for keeping a creek flowing in a certain direction. We're all connected together. We depend on them to do what they need to do in order for us to still have the place that we have. You won't really appreciate what the wildlife does and how much they contribute unless you want to be part of nature yourself. If we're out there helping injured wildlife, that can also help us stay connected with our new diseases starting to come around that we don't know about.
Well, we started partnering with the Savannah Wildlife Rescue Center in 2017, and since that time we've had about 25 students a year join them for internships. That internship, externship opportunity that takes them out of the classroom and really puts them in a place where they get to apply those skills in real life.
There you go. Okay. So it's just a process, and you start with the baby with your hand down here, work it up.
I think that's the most exciting part when we get to hear directly back from the students. There was a biology student this last year who, in her experience, she said it was validating, that she knew hands-on when she was able to work with the animals and actually be there and understand the impact that she can have. She applied what she learned in the classroom and was able to apply it there in critical thinking, problem solving, be part of solutions. And that part of it's so important for us, for them to have that experience, because it validates the trajectory of where they're headed in their careers and beyond.
It's important to support wildlife rescue and rehabilitation because the animals are here sharing these neighborhoods with us. Her impressive education program that she's built with very young students all the way to college students, internships, and it's really grown into this international sort of mission. And so for me, I say kudos to Jeannie, her staff and team, and I'm just really proud to be a small piece of it by way of advocating and supporting financially.
Miss Jeannie is our person. She is that person that can help those creatures so that either A, they can get strong enough to go back out to where they belong, or B, so that they don't have to go through a type of suffering because we wanted to cut down a tree. Who else are you gonna call whenever you see something hurt on the side of the road? Without them, there's no place for them to go. Yes, we have the Georgia DNR, but the DNR doesn't keep animals and house animals. Georgia DNR doesn't make sure they get surgery if their leg is broken. Georgia DNR isn't responsible for the health of them and then getting them back out into the environment. That is Miss Jeannie. So without help and support, she can't do that. It all goes back to how would you like to be treated if you were in that situation? So if you were a raccoon and you fell from a tree because somebody was chopping down that tree and you got hurt and you can't walk, you can't eat, you just waste, would you want to be left there just to die?
Our mission is the same. It is to educate. And I think together we can serve in a mutually beneficial way where our missions align and have impact to a region. I want to thank the Savannah Wildlife Rescue Center. Thank you and congratulations for all the great work that you do.